Hello friends, in this video we will going to discuss about mode of heat transfer, or in a thermodynamic perspective point of view, what is meant by the heat transfer. So before I start my further lecture, we will discuss what we already studies. So in the previous videos we discussed about flow work. So what is your flow work? The flow work is pressure into a specific volume, and this is your kilojoule per kg, right? This is the work associated with the fluid flowing. So when there is a fluid is flow, automatically this energy will possessed by the fluid. This is the work associated with fluid is flowing. That means when the fluid is flowing, this work is involved. So we can say that pressure into a specific volume is the energy required, very important, is the energy required to maintain the flow, energy required to maintain the flow in presence of pressure per unit mass. So if there is a fluid, let's say there is a fluid element. So when the fluid element is flow, so this fluid element, the flow due to the pressure, flow in presence of pressure, then this fluid have a flow energy P into V, right? Now, my dear friends, we know that total energy of a simple compressible system consists of three parts. What is the consist of three part? What is that? Internal energy, right? And kinetic energy, right? And potential energy, right? So if there is a simple compressible system, then that system, the total energy is the sum of these. So if we want that total energy per unit mass denoted by E by M is what? Internal energy plus kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? And this is the internal energy. What is the kinetic energy per unit mass? Half V square G into Z. This is your kilojoule per kg. So this is the energy which is the total energy which is possessed of a simple compressible substance. But we know that when the fluid is flow, when the fluid is flowing. That means if this is your system, let's suppose control volume, and there is a fluid is fluid in, and there's a fluid out, right? So this system will possess internal energy, kinetic energy, and potential energy. But along when the fluid is flow, there must be energy interaction. That means the fluid is flow. That means flow. So fluid is flow. It have extra component of energy, which is P into V, right? So what you can say that? So you can say that, sir, when the fluid is flowing, additional form of energy, what? Flow work. What is that? P into V. So this is the energy. Yes, this is the energy of a system. But when the system interact with the fluid flowing, this extra form of energy will add in that situation. So in that case, what is the total energy? Let theta is the total energy when the fluid is flowing, is what? P into V plus this energy, U plus V square by 2 plus G into Z, right? So we already know that this is the energy associated by the simple compressible substance, and this is an extra energy associated when the fluid is flowing. So a simple compressible substance system have in which the fluid is flowing, the mass will transfer. So you can write this P into V plus internal energy. What is called? This is your enthalpy. This is your enthalpy. So we can write H equal plus V square by 2 plus G into Z, right? So this is your energy. So what you can say that, you can say that we draw a non-flowing fluid, non-flowing fluid. If there is a non-flowing fluid, so what is the total energy per unit mass? It is the internal energy plus kinetic energy plus potential energy, right? This is your internal energy. This is your internal energy, right? This is your kinetic energy, right? And this is your potential energy, right? When the fluid is non-flowing. When the flowing fluid, if there is a flowing fluid, the total energy associated with that fluid, P into V plus this energy, U plus V square by 2 plus Gz. So this is the additional form of energy which is known as flow energy. What is that? Flow energy. And this energy, it is in the form of work. Flow, yeah, flow work, right? All are these same, right? So these two, that means your very important note point is that, note, when this is energy for flowing fluid, P into V plus U V square by 2 plus Gz, right? And this term is called enthalpy of the fluid. So H plus V square by 2 plus gz. So see the difference. When the fluid, these components are common, either the fluid is moving or fluid is rest, that this is common, either non-flowing or flowing fluid, right? Either non-flowing fluid or flowing fluid. But these term so by using enthalpy instead of internal energy, if we add this v square by 2 plus gz as enthalpy instead of internal energy, to represent the energy, what, of a flowing fluid, So if we just substitute enthalpy in place of internal energy, so automatically when the enthalpy considered instead of internal energy, then that situation the energy of a flowing fluid. Hence we can say that, my dear student, hence we can say that the energy associated, very important, the energy associated with pushing the fluid in or out, into or out of the control volume is automatically taken care of by enthalpy. So if we take enthalpy in the case of a flowing fluid, if we consider about enthalpy, so enthalpy automatically considered about the what is the pushing energy, it is included. So when we say the enthalpy, it's include the flow work. So it is given, so the energy associated with the pushing, a pushing energy associated with the P into V of the fluid in or out the control volume is automatically taken care of by enthalpy. So due to, very important, I'm telling you, this is very important, many times asked in interview. So this is the reason for defining the property enthalpy. So this is your birth of enthalpy. This is very important. Someone ask you why we are enthalpy will consider. So enthalpy, the concept enthalpy, it is a property. Enthalpy, it is a property, and this property will consider when the fluid is flow. So there are two situations. One, when the fluid is non-flowing, there must be internal energy. When the fluid is non-flowing or flowing, internal energy, all of this internal energy, because internal energy is the property. So it is always either fluid is flowing or non-flowing. But if the fluid is flowing, instead of internal energy, we automatically taken care for enthalpy. Why? Because in the case of flowing fluid, the pushing energy will extra added. So for that compensation, we put the enthalpy. So there is a very important, see here is the many confusion. Here is the many confusion for this statement. So you never say that internal energy always associated with internal energy will define for a non-flow fluid. No, internal energy, it is a property. It is a property. It is there either fluid is flowing or non-flowing. It is there. It is there either fluid is flowing or non-flowing. But if fluid is flowing, so if fluid is flowing, so extra component of energy will add. And for this consideration, if the fluid is flowing, we take enthalpy. So enthalpy will taken care when the fluid is flowing. So see my dear friends, we see that there is a container, right? This is your container, and this container will fill. This container is filled. So this container is filled. Let's suppose this container will fill. So this container energy is increased. Why? Because when the fluid is flowing, there must be some property to that like temperature. So according to that property, there must be internal energy. So there is a fluid. If there is a fluid, there must be internal energy. And if the fluid is flowing, so there must be extra energy. So when the fluid is flowing, this system has energized. Why this system is energized? Why? Because this extra amount of energy will add to the system when the fluid is flowing. So when there is a fluid, there is internal energy, no problem. When there is a fluid, either it is motion or either it is rest, there must be internal energy. But when the fluid is flowing, the system energy will fluid is flowing, and this add to the system, the fluid will add to the system. So due to that means there is an internal energy. Along internal energy there is a flow. So along the flow there is a PV. So due to consideration of these two components, we define enthalpy. Very clear? When there is a fluid, there is internal energy. When this is a flow, there is a PV. And for this, we consider enthalpy. So there is a question, why the reason we defined enthalpy? This is very important. Why the reason we defined enthalpy? Why? Because energy associated with pushing the fluid into or out of the control volume is automatically taken care of the enthalpy. So we required defining the enthalpy term. This is very important in the interview session. Someone you ask why the requirement, why we required enthalpy, or why we defined enthalpy, right? Now see, this is your control volume. This is your control volume, right? This is your control volume. Let's suppose this is your control volume. Let's suppose this is your control volume. Okay. Now let the fluid is flow. Fluid in. If the fluid is in, so there is a mass flow rate m dot in, and there is along the mass there is energy theta I in. So when this fluid is into the system, there must be m dot I theta kilowatt will the energy will add. So What is that? Theta I is what? Theta I is the total energy of the fluid at inlet, of the fluid at inlet. So what is m dot I? M dot I into theta I, what is that? So is the energy transported into the control volume by mass per unit time, by mass per unit time. So if there is any system and if there is a mass is in, let's suppose mass is in, so due to that mass of inlet, the system possesses some energy. So if there is a mass and there is a flow, so there is a mass, so there must be a total energy, and total energy in terms of enthalpy, kinetic energy and potential energy, like that. So due to this two energy, what is the energy? M dot, and this sum of energy is denoted by theta. So this is m dot theta. This energy will associated with the system. Okay, so let's define a situation like that. Let's examine a problem. Let's examine one problem. That let's take an example. What is that? What is the example? Example is that energy transport by mass. It is related with energy transport by mass. So what is given? There is a pressure cooker. So steam is leaving. There is a pressure cooker. So my dear friend, this is your pressure cooker. Very classical problem. This is your pressure cooker. There is a pressure cooker, okay, and in that there is a liquid. This is a liquid and this is your vapor. This is your vapor, and in that there is a one exit, right? There is exit. There is exit one. So steam is leaving a 4-liter pressure cooker. So what is the volume of pressure cooker? 4 liter. So it is given steam is leaving a 4-liter pressure cooker whose operating pressure. So what is the pressure inside the pressure cooker? 150. That means a pressure cooker of a volume 4 liter and the pressure, operating pressure is 150 kilopascal. It is in the figure. So this is your 150 kilopascal, right? And this is your steam. So this is your pressure cooker and this is your steam, leaving steam. Steam is leaving, right? You know, it observed that the amount of liquid, this is the liquid, this is liquid and this is vapor, right? So it is observed that the amount of liquid in the cooker has decreases by 0.6 liter. So amount of the liquid, so this liquid will reduce. So this liquid will reduce how much? How much liquid will reduce? 0.6 liter. 0.6 liter liquid will reduce and converted into steam. In how much time? So it is given that 0.6 liter liquid decreases in 40 minutes. So if we supply energy in a 40 minutes, so you observe that 0.6 liter of the liquid will reduce. So this 0.6 liter liquid will convert it into steam, right? 40 minutes after the steady operating condition are stabilized, the cross section area of the exit opening. So cross section area of this exit opening is given. What is given? 8 mm cube. So it is fine to find that the mass flow rate of the steam and exit velocity. Number B, total and flow energy of the steam per unit mass. And number C, the rate at which the energy leave the pressure cooker. Right? So so situation is given, steam leaves a pressure cooker, at a specified pressure. At this pressure the steam is leaving. The velocity, flow rate, the total and flow energy and the rate of energy transfer by the mass are to be determined. So what is the assumption? What we can say that? What is your assumption? The assumption is that the flow is steady and the initial startup period is disregarded. Throughout the flow is steady. So when there is a flow is steady flow. Number first assumption. Number second assumption, change in kinetic energy, मतलब kinetic energy and not change energy, kinetic energy and potential energy will neglect, right? Number third, saturation condition exist. These are very important. We assume that saturation condition exist within the cooker, within the system, right, at all time, so that steam leaves the cooker at the saturated vapor at the cooker pressure. So saturation condition exists. So the saturation condition is exist. That means that means if you say that, so see, if this is your PV diagram, very important, P into V. So this is your PV diagram. So this is your condition. So this is your liquid, saturated liquid, this is your saturated vapor. So this is your saturated liquid and this is saturated vapor. That means this is your F and this is your G. In this condition, this operating condition will happening. Saturation condition is exist at all time. So exit, this is your exit at this state. So what we can say that if you take a property, so what is the property? So at 150 kilopascal water table is what? It is given that Vf, Vg, Ug, Hg. These all have to find out from the table. So Vf is given 0.001053. This is given 1.159. This is from table, don't worry about that. 2519.2. This is your 2693.1, right? So saturation condition exists in a pressure cooker at all time. So there is a saturation condition exist at all time. After the steady operation condition are stabilized, therefore the liquid has the property of a saturation liquid and the exit steam has the property of a saturation vapor. So the operating condition is the liquid has the saturated property. So this is the liquid and this is your vapor. At this condition, this is the exit. The amount, so what is the mass? So the amount of liquid that evaporate. So if there is a liquid, so what is the evaporation? Amount of evaporation, mass flow rate of the exit steam and exit vapor. So amount of liquid that has been evaporated. So what is the amount? Amount of liquid that has evaporated. Let's suppose M, and that M is volume of the cooker divided by evaporation, that means volume of the gas, volume of the liquid. Liquid will evaporated, so volume of the F at that pressure. This is F, this is evaporation from the liquid. So there is a fluid. So how much this is, how much evaporation, so how much this will evaporate, so it will reduce the volume 0.6 liter. So this is your volume reduction, that is delta V of liquid, and this is a specific volume of the liquid at the saturation condition. So if you solve, this is to be 0.57 kg. So this mass will evaporate, and this mass will transfer from this opening. So this is the mass will evaporate, will generate. This mass will generate from the liquid to the, from the liquid. So what is the mass flow rate? If you find what is the mass flow rate, the mass into how much time taken, delta T. So what is the mass? 0.57. What is your time? 40 minutes. So if you solve this, this is your 2.37 cross 10 to the power minus 4 kg per second. So due to, so this mass flow rate, the fluid will exit. So exit mass flow rate, exit mass flow rate, steady condition. So this mass flow rate will be formed, and this mass will exit. So if you find that what is the velocity, so we know that density is equal to mass by volume, and mass flow rate into density into velocity, right? Density into area, density into area. This is, or so this is your density, sorry, this is your like that, no problem, we'll take like that. So this is a volume, density, mass by volume, and there is a mass flow, mass of volume is what is area into velocity. If you, so this is, if you divide by time, so this is mass flow rate, and this is volume, area, or area into length by time is velocity. So the mass flow rate is what? Density area into velocity. So if you find what is the exit velocity, so this is a mass flow rate by density into area, and you have mass flow rate, you have, so you don't have a density, you have a specific volume. So m dot into V of G. Why? Because saturated gas will exit steam. This is the exit, mass flow rate exit. So exit is what? Exit is saturated vapor. So 1 by density is the specific volume of the liquid. So if you have mass flow rate, saturated liquid, specific volume of the gas, and you have area, so put all this value, this is 34.3 meter per second. So this is the velocity which is exit from the, so this is the exit velocity. So this is what? Exit velocity, right? Now again is say that exit velocity, so mass flow rate of the steam and exit velocity, you have the total and flow energy per unit mass. So the total energy, right? Total energy and flow energy per unit mass. So you have, what is the flow energy? W flow per unit mass is what? P into V, right? And this flow P into V is nothing, H in minus U, and this is what? H is what? Flow is saturated gas, steam. So UF Ug minus Hg minus Hf. So you have Hg 2693.1, you have Ug 2519.2. so if you put this value 173.9 kilojoule per kg, so this energy will flow. That means this is a flow energy, flow work or flow energy, right? Now again it is said that what is the total energy? What is the total energy? So the total energy, what is in flow? If instead of flow we put enthalpy, kinetic energy plus potential energy, but we take this is to be negligible. So this is your H, and H is what? Hg. So what is the flow energy? 2693.1 kilojoule per kg. So this is the flow energy. If we neglect the change in kinetic and potential energy, so this is the flow energy, right? Now next they will ask that number C, the rate at which the energy leaves the pressure cooker. Rate of so leave from which, why the energy will leave? Due to mass transfer. So there is a mass. So this energy is what? M dot into theta exit. So what is your M dot? You have M dot 2.37 cross 10 to the power minus 4 into what is theta? Theta is nothing, it is Hg. And if you put this value 0.638 kilowatt, this energy. So this is what? This is what? This is your the rate at which energy leaves the cooker. Energy leaves the system by steam. Right? And what is this? This is the flow energy. So this is your, what is that? This is your flow energy, and this is the total energy. This is the total energy per unit mass. Total energy, and this is your flow energy, right? So this, according to this, we can find all these value. Now we come across a heat transfer mechanism. So in a thermodynamics, what is a heat transfer? What we can see that heat transfer. So heat transfer, very important, I'm telling you. Heat transfer. Okay. So first, in a first point, heat is an energy. Heat is an energy in transient, very important, in transient. That means boundary phenomena, in transient, due to temperature difference. So we can write that there are two terms, heat and temperature difference, right? So here temperature difference delta T is what? It is a potential or gradient, and heat transfer is flux. So you know that current is a flux. Why? Because there is a potential difference. Pressure is the flux. A flow is a flux. Anything is a flow is a flux. The gradient is pressure difference, right? Like that, heat is a flux. The potential difference is temperature difference. So my dear friend, this is very important information I am telling you. Heat will transfer if change in temperature. Heat will transfer if change in temperature, but the cause of a change in temperature is not a heat transfer. It may be. So always you don't say the body have a temperature increase, so there must be a supply of it. No, maybe supply of a work, maybe supply of a work. So we can say that we know that this is your, if there is a PV diagram and this is your path, following path. So this area is known as work transfer. This area is what? Work transfer. And if there is a entropy and so, let some property x. So if we draw a diagram, this is your temperature heat transfer from point 1 to 2, 1 to 2. So there is a heat transfer. So what is the direction? So if there is a system, if we heat add to the system, so this is positive. If there is a heat, we will reject to the system, it is negative, right? Like that. So what is that? This area work is what? dW is equal to PdV, and here dQ is equal to T dx. So if we convert, so what is that? If you convert, this is your exact differential, this is your exact difference, this is your exact differential, this is non-exact differential, this is exact differential. So this is the change in property. So if we, so what is that here? What is dV? 1 by P into dW, right? What is dx? 1 by T into dQ. So if you convert exact differential to non-exact differential, you multiply some factor. This is the mathematics. So if you have, this is your exact differential and this is your inexact differential, this is your exact differential, this is your inexact differential. So according to mathematics, if you transfer exact differential to non-exact differential, if you transfer exact differential to non-exact differential, you multiply a integrating factor. So 1 by P and 1 by T is the integrating factor. So this is your integrating factor, right? Now some point you must be remember, this is very important. So what is that? Point to remember regarding heat and work transfer, right? What is that? Number first point is that heat transfer these two are mode of energy interaction. These are a, that means heat transfer and work transfer are the energy interaction. So heat and work are the energy interaction. That means, and which that means there is a closed system. See, if there is a closed system, if there is a closed system, right? If there is a closed system, so this closed system and this is surrounding. So the system will interact to the surrounding or surrounding will interact to the system. Either heat transfer or either work transfer, either both. So, so a closed system and its surrounding can interact in two way. Can interact in two way, by heat transfer and by work transfer. So we already told that in a thermodynamic study how this interaction bring about the property change of the system. So system will interact with the surrounding by two manner: heat transfer and work transfer. And in a thermodynamics we study that during that transfer, heat and work, what is the property change in the system, what is the change in the system, we are focusing in the thermodynamics. So in the thermodynamics we study the heat transfer. In the thermodynamics we define a system, and we know that system will always interact to the surrounding by two mechanism, either by heat transfer or either by two mechanism, heat transfer and work transfer. And due to these two transfer, heat and work, we are always bothering about what is the system property, change in system property, right? So this is number first. Number second is what? Some effect in a closed system can be brought about either by heat transfer and by work transfer. So same effect in a closed system can be brought about either by heat transfer or work transfer. So same effect, let's suppose if we effect if we change the temperature. So my dear friends, if there is a system, let's see, if this is system and in this system there is a fluid. If we churning this fluid, right, and this is our system, if you churning this fluid, so you add a work which is shaft work, and due to that its property will change, and due to that change its temperature will increase, right? So this temperature will increase, also its temperature will increase, right? You can also say that so we already told that the temperature, if so you can say that, but the change in temperature need not be a heat transfer, it may be a work transfer. See, the change in temperature, if you remove that work and if you see that this temperature will increase, so you can not always say that increase in temperature is by mode of heat transfer. No, it may be a work transfer, right? So like that, if you have this type of a container and in which there is a system and we are electrical heating, right, pass a current through it, let's suppose I, potential difference V, and in time delta T. So if we select this system, if you select this is our system, so the electrons will cross the boundary. So and if we take such this system, if we take this system and we place also electrical heating into it, but by current supply I, potential difference V in time delta t. And but we take system like that. But this is our, now in this time, this is our system. Okay, now this time this is our system. So this is our system. So this is our system. So you can, so my dear friend, you intuitionally you can say that in this system temperature will increase, and in this system also temperature will increase. So this gives the same effect, but this is same effect. So this electron will transferring, so this is electrical effect, electrical work, and in this condition the coil is heated, and this heated the transfer of heat. So this is your work effect, but this is your heating effect. So this is your heating effect, this is your, and the same status. So the same effect in a closed system can be brought about either heat transfer. So in this case there is a heat transfer or work transfer, where whether the heat transfer or work transfer has takes place depends on what constituents the system. मतलब हमने सिस्टम क्या लिया है. अगर हमने सिस्टम में इंक्लूड कर दिया इलेक्ट्रिकल हीटिंग, so electrical heater, so this is a work transfer. If you exclude, there is a heat transfer. So my dear friend, this is very important, that whether heat transfer or work transfer, whether the system will interact to the surrounding either by heat transfer or work transfer, depends on, very important, this depends on what constitute the system. Constituent of the system is, say that, with what, how you select the system boundary. This depends upon how you select. So you never say that the effect is heat effect or work effect, it is anything. So this all depends upon how you select the system boundary. If you select the system boundary included electrical heater, there is a work transfer. If you select a system boundary excluded the electrical heater, there is a heat transfer, right? So this is the point number second. Now what is the point number third? Second. Now what is the point number third? Point number third is that both heat transfer and work transfer are boundary phenomenon. Heat and work both are boundary phenomenon, right? That means it both should cross the boundary. Number fourth, it is wrong to say total heat or heat content. This is very wrong. Total heat, what is the if you any ask us what is the total heat, yeah, what is the heat content, this is wrong. This is wrong. Why? Because heat and work is not a property of the system. It cannot stored, hence it cannot stored by the system. Total heat or heat content, it is used in, if you someone asks what is the total energy or energy content, this is okay. Why? Because energy it is a stored phenomena, but heat and work, it is a transient phenomena. It will always transfer, and it is not a point function, it is a path function. So if you differentiate that, if there is a energy and there is a heat and work. So what is the difference? Energy, it is a property of the system, but it is not a property of the system. Number first. Number second, it is total energy stored by the system, but it cannot say that it is total heat or total work or heat is stored by the system, right? Number third, it is a point function, it is a path function, right? It is a system property, it is not a system property, right? It is exact differential, it is non-exact differential, right? It is a system property, it is a boundary property. So like that you can define. And what is the difference of between heat and work? So there is a similar, so there is no any difference between heat and work. Number first. Number second, if you differentiate heat and work, so heat will caused due to temperature difference, but temperature difference not always responsible for heat transfer, it may be work transfer, right? Now next, so it is wrong to say that total heat or heat content for a closed system. Why? Because heat and work is not a property of the system, hence it cannot be stored by the system. That's why both heat and work are energy in transient. Next point, energy interaction by heat transfer. This is very important, I'm telling you. Energy interaction by heat transfer due to temperature difference only, but all other energy interaction may be work transfer. Next, heat and work transfer are the path function. That's why in exact differential, hence magnitude of heat transfer and work transfer depends on the path of the system followed during the change of the state. So heat and work are inexact differential, so this depends upon the path of the system, path of the followed by the process by the change of state. Okay, now thank you very much.